let's talk about some tips you need to keep in mind when planning a demo lesson. If you're not familiar with what a demo lesson is, basically it means that you are going to teach a lesson in front of a panel of interviewers. It's just a way for them to see how do you teach, what's your style, some of your methods, that kind of thing. Let's talk about some tips to help you make sure it goes smoothly. Really quickly, in case we haven't met before, hey, my name is Ashley. I blog over at senoritaspanish.com, and I have a whole playlist of resources to help you prep for your teaching interview. In this series, we are specifically talking about demo lessons because I know the first time I was asked to teach a demo lesson, I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing. So I wanted to share some tips and things to help you know that it can go smoothly and you're going to nail that interview. 1, ask about the students and what they have mastered / what they're working on. Sometimes they ask you to do a demo lesson and that's literally the end of the information that they provide you. They're like, okay, come in with a demo lesson, and you're like, who, what, where, when, like what level, what am I teaching? And sometimes it's because they're just gonna pretend, right, that it's just a bunch of adults that you're teaching. So ask for information about what the students have been working on, what they've already covered, where they're going next in their curriculum. They should be able to give you a basic outline of what they've done so far in the year, so that way you know, like, okay, I can kind of expect them to do this. Also ask them to give you a heads up on IEPs and 504s. They might decline because of student confidentiality and that sort of thing, but if there's anything that's significant that would affect your lesson, it's, not crazy to ask that. Next tip for you is to, if you can, align your lesson with district initiatives. So this is going to require a little bit of research on your part, or maybe you've asked those questions in your first round of interview. What is the district working on as a whole right now? And sometimes it's standards-based grading. Sometimes it's incorporating reading strategies. There's lots of different things that districts might be working on, but if you can include 1 or 2 elements and explain why you did that and how you did it, that's a good brownie point for you in your interview. Next up in my tips for your demo lesson is that you should introduce yourself and make sure your name is displayed visibly. It could be as simple as writing your name up on the board. It could be a big name tag on your shirt. Whatever it is, make sure they know who you are. Next, if you've planned a lesson that revolves around any technology-heavy component, have a backup plan, because you never know. District firewalls are going to be a thing. This website is blocked. Oh, you can't actually log on. Oh, you can't use technology at all in this. If you've planned a technology-heavy demo lesson, make sure you have backups. Along those same lines, it's just smart to plan a few different ways you can access the technology components. So maybe you've got it saved on the cloud, maybe you've emailed it to yourself, and maybe you put it on a flash drive. If you are bringing physical materials, or any kind of materials in your presentation, in your handouts, whatever, double and triple check for typos and errors. It happens to all of us. We're all human, but you really don't want that to happen to you during an interview. You double check, you triple check, you pass it over to a friend and you say, could you please look at this and make sure I'm not crazy? All of those kinds of things, just in case. When you're planning your lesson itself, you want to create an interactive lesson. You don't want to just be the person in the middle of the stage telling them a bunch of information. You want to do something that's going to model how you are actually going to teach your class. So chances are you're going to be having the students doing stuff. You might have them up and moving around. You might have them working with a partner or with small groups. Don't be afraid to plan that kind of thing for your demo lesson so they can see, what do you actually teach like? Include those interactive components in your demo. Don't be afraid to include multiple kinds of activities, like independent activities, small group, whole class, and make sure you have a fast finisher ready. The reason why I say to have a fast finisher ready is because sometimes they give you a chunk of time they want you to plan for. So maybe they want you to do a demo lesson for 10 minutes. The one thing that's really hard to plan for is if you don't know your students, you don't know, like maybe they're super awesome at this skill that they told you to plan a lesson for and they go really fast. Or maybe they're terrible at the skill and it takes them forever to get through the one thing. Show that you can be flexible with your lesson plan components, and that's gonna really help. So one way you can do that very easily is to have a fast finisher planned. And if you're not familiar with fast finishers, I have a whole video full of fast finishers right here on my channel, so I'll let you check that out. But the main reason is because you don't want to get to the end of your lesson and be like, oh, I was supposed to plan for 20 minutes and that was 7. Again, just have 1 or 2 more things in your back pocket just in case, showing that you are planning ahead and you are well prepared. Last but not least, practice the lesson beforehand. Line up your roommates, sit them on a couch. Everybody's going to sit here and do this lesson with you. Go through a trial run. And I can almost guarantee you will feel ridiculous teaching your roommates or teaching your dog or whatever, but it is going to help you be more prepared. It's going to help you find any hiccups or bugs or typos or errors as you're going through things, because you're going to do the lesson as if you were doing your demo. And so you're going to find any of those spots where it's like, wait, that didn't actually flow like I imagined it. Just like if you were teaching your first class period of the day, poor guys, they're always your guinea pigs, because you never really know how things are going to go until you actually run through it once. All right, I hope that these tips for your demo lesson have been helpful. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to drop me a comment down below. I have a whole playlist of teacher interview prep tips for you. I will make sure to put that here, as well as link it down in the description box below, so that if you need anything while you're preparing to find your teaching job, that can be helpful for you. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.